All right, all right. We're now going live. Welcome to Dorsey's Resource. The topic of this video is going to be where have I been lately? Question mark. Open topic discussion. Greetings. I want to first of all I want to thank you all who continue to still follow the channel, who continue to still rock with me. Those of you all who have subscribed over my new channel, appreciate you. Much appreciation. I wanted to give you all an update. What's been going on with me, where I've been. This is like a not really a general topic in particular. This is basically like open forum Q&A. I just put open discussion, open topic. So, as usual, just for future reference, feel free to chime in. I know some of you all may be joining late. Looks like we don't have anyone so far, but when you all do get this video, you all know for future reference. If you haven't done so already, be sure to go over to my newer channel and make sure you subscribe at Dorsey's Resource 873. Over there, it's at Dorsey's Resource 873. If you type in the YouTube search engine, more specifically, it'll pull you up and take you there. In some of my previous videos over here, I put the link in the description box. So just that's another option. But just for future reference, because I share with you all, in case you're unaware what happened with this particular channel over here. And I just wanted to kind of give you all an update. Not sure how long I'm going to be before you all. I know it's been a minute since I put out a video, but I wanted to at least put out a video this month. The last video I did, I wanted to, the video I did about the major temporal marker that hit, I was considering doing one on my newer channel. And big shout out to Currency 365. I see that he shared that video, but I wanted to give you all an update, let you all know where I've been lately, what's been going on. And I wanted to let you all know, give you all a heads up. Those of you all, like I say, once again, who continue to rock with me, that continue to stay loyal to the channel, much appreciation. Kudos to you. I know some of you all are diehard loyal fans, and I appreciate you. I do get the messages from time to time. When I get a chance with my busy schedule, I do try to respond. It's so many people, and it's always a lot to unpack because I have people in my immediate circle. Nowadays we're being bombarded with tons of information, tons of emails, tons of text messages, tons of DMs, direct messages. So for me personally, I have to take my time. I just because I put a lot of thought and effort into my responses. Just to give you all a heads up, if you're wondering, sometimes I'll read a comment, read a statement, but I have to put a lot of thought. And then when I'm over on Telegram and I've gotten messages related to my studies in sovereignty redemption education, and there's a lot to unpack when it comes to those type of topics. And even emails I've received in the past, some of the questions can be very intense. And I just wanted to give you all a heads up. It takes me time, but I haven't forgot about you all. Down the road, very soon, I may be contacting my VIP list. So far, I have one particular top person in particular. The other person who was on my VIP list was very, very busy. But one in particular, which I appreciate this brother's support. He doesn't have to do what he's done. It's big shout out to the channel Currency 365. I know he shared some of my videos for allowing me to be a contributor over there from time to time. And I know he's super busy. And a big shout out to the work that he does, sharing the videos, with keeping us up to date on what's going on with the cryptocurrency Terra Luna. For those that follow that, I'm still learning. I know to some of my relatives or friends, I may seem very knowledgeable. I had to kind of explain to one particular relative, this gets really extensive, but this is where the future is headed, dealing with cryptocurrency. But I just wanted to give a big shout out to the brother and just let it be known, he's on my VIP list. I had some information from one of my private sources that I wanted to reach out to Currency 365. So just in case he hears this video or gets this message sometime down the road, I haven't done so yet. I wanted to I'll contact him through my Twitter handle. I wanted to DM him about something important. that I received a while ago from my private source. I've actually covered some videos where I was given permission. Basically, one of my private sources did state they are under a non-disclosure agreement. Several of my sources are, but one in particular, and I have to be respectful of that. And I didn't never said any names. I've never shared the name of this particular source. Multiple sources that I have, by the way, I do have out there legitimate private sources. Just to give you all a heads up, and like I said, to reiterate, I keep my top sources private. They will be remain nameless, by the way. And just so you guys can't figure it out, I do have multiple sources in different regards, just so you know. But I'm not going to go into the details about that. I'm going to be very vague, but I do get information from time to time. And it's just something I wanted to share because Currency 365 in the past, despite what happened with YouTube demonetizing this particular channel, I did do some things to fight back, but I won't forget the support that Currency 365 has shared and been very loyal. I think most loyal. And then some of you all out there, but I'll say not to the degree, no one to the degree that he has, other than someone I know personally, who's off, whose name I won't mention. But other than that, who has a following himself on YouTube, I just wanted to acknowledge. So for my VIP people, since I haven't started a Patreon yet, and I said one of the reasons I haven't started a Patreon, just to give you all a heads up, is because one of the reasons, and part of this update of this video where I've been lately, I've been working a lot. My schedule, I'm now a supervisor. I still work in armed security as armed security guard. Sometimes I get sent to different details. I've been having to work schools lately. By the way, I've done some elementary schools like the exterior, but lately I've done they've been putting me at a high school. It seems like I've said a lot of these security companies, in my opinion, are short-handed. And I was thinking about doing a video. I got an idea from a guy based out of the UK, out of England, that worked in the what can I call it, the medical field or medical industry. I believe he was a doctor, and he was mentioning why it's such a shortage of nurses and doctors and why people were quitting while they were leaving the medical field. So I thought probably a good topic to do, because there's some other channels that I follow in a different discipline, different genre that deal with security, by the way. And I try to think of new ideas for my newer channel. By the way, I still had some things planned I probably wouldn't put over here because of what happened. This is my original channel that was much larger, but it was, it came under attack, by the way. So it's a lot to unpack, but I just wanted to let you guys know where I've been lately, what's been going on. So to reiterate, I have been working. Once again, I do work in the security field. It's a very demanding field, and this type of career, in case you don't know, there's many different types of career fields. Even though I do have an associate's degree in business administration, I didn't really work in my particular field, but it is related. I've taken management before, and I do know how some things work. I've explained to people from a managerial level. I don't claim to be an expert in certain regards of different genres, but I went into self-directed management at a business school. I graduated from Davenport University. I took credits going towards my bachelor's, got my associates. I didn't finish for my bachelor's degree or bachelorette, by the way. Then if I continue to further my education, then of course, I think the master's would be like they call the graduate degree, and so on. So you guys get the drift. I am college educated, so I know how things are ran to a degree, and I wanted to kind of give you all insight in this particular type of career field. A lot of the clients are very demanding around the holidays. They want security personnel. And I have also worked in, there's different types of security executive protection before. It's like another variation that's more personal, where you're almost like a bodyguard for a client, but they have larger details where executive protection can get into like clubs, nightclubs, but also upscale events like private parties and stuff like that. Before, some years ago, I worked for East Coast Protection Agency back in 2004. and there was special details like can be related to concerts, private parties, and then almost even getting to upscale clients where I believe my one of my coworkers, my landlord at the time, who got me in, was explaining he was on a different detail where back then he guarded Melissa Ford, who was the top model. This is how I knew who she was many years ago. And someone else that was famous in like the music entertainment industry at the time when they were coming to town. They had a special detail. So I've worked just to kind of give you all a background. So lately, nowadays, they're shorthanded in this particular career field that I work in. It's very demanding. It appears the company that I work for is very shorthanded. And to let you guys know what's going on, you know, I'm pretty transparent with you all. I don't mind sharing some of my personal business. I haven't shared everything, but just certain details, just so you all know. My schedule has changed literally week to week. I've complained, but it kind of comes with the nature of the job too. I call it the nature of the beast now that I'm a supervisor, but I have requested in the past. I do preferably like when my off days are back to back, but it seems for whatever reason, every now and then they break my off days up. I told them I prefer to have Sundays off because that's like, to me, that's like a family day or whatever. But sometimes I don't mind when my schedule does change because, you know, holidays and stuff like that. When you do work holidays, that's more money, that's time and a half. So I think in terms of businesses, just how entrepreneurs think, people that are in business for themselves, and a similar concept, even though I work for someone else, a lot of times certain businesses or certain professions make a lot of their money around holiday season, by the way. So me personally, unlike other people who look forward to sometimes to some of those times spending time with their family, I get that some people got it like that, but I don't. I'm on my own. My rent is high. I'm completely on my own. I don't get Section 8. I don't get rental assistance. You know, these greedy landlords, price gouge people. And then I stay in more of a gated community. And, you know, they like to, it is for what it is. And the cost of living is going up. I had someone I know personally that basically knows about properties and real estate. Couple people I know are really knowledgeable. Two I've known for a very long time in the real estate field, and one of them used to be a landlord, and he was all telling me, and kind of, you know, I say sword sharpens sword, and he lets me know from time to time that that alarm system you have, that's extra cost or other amenities. But I think certain things, like I told one friend who's studying Grant Cardone's classes and went to his seminars, and one of his students was telling me they come up with these bullshit reasons to go up on your rent. I told him the property manager mentioned to me one year they planted some trees just as an excuse just to go up on the rent. This is just ridiculous, you know. And they haven't added any amenities or done any additional work to the apartment or to the unit itself. They need to be renovating some of these units while people are there, not just for new people coming in if they want to be top notch and feel like they want to price gouge and be greedy. And I never knew years ago. And when I started learning this information, just being transparent with you all, I'm the oldest child. So I had to really go through the school of hard knocks. I didn't have no one share these things, that when you own a house or, you know, you have a home, your mortgage is generally speaking, it's going to be cheaper than renting, even though you do have to pay property taxes. Some places that can be high depending on where you live at. Like I'm glad I don't live in California or New York. Those two places, the cost of living is sky high, especially I hear California and New York, both of them super sky high. That's why a lot of people I heard are moving out of both of those states. I don't know how it's the only way I would be able to live in California or New York. I would have to be a famous person. I would have to be a superstar, a sports athlete or entertainer before I could afford to even think about or entertain moving to those places. I've always wanted to visit California and New York just from, you know, what I've heard throughout the years. I have other people visited, actually gave me souvenirs for New York. I've never actually been to California or New York. It's funny, even though it was a rap group that I was affiliated with, heavily affiliated, was unofficially a member of the group, because my best friend was the head of the group many years ago. They actually had built the fan base in actually California and New York. From what I remember, he was telling me Columbus, Ohio, definitely Detroit, Atlanta, and Florida. He was telling me as they were growing in the industry and trying to get signed by a major label, which we never did. We were in discussions with at the time Bad Boy Entertainment, from what he stated, the lawyers that he would speak to, the upper management that was affiliated. My friend, basically the mastermind, basically the head of the group. He knew the music industry a lot better than I did, and he explained to me we were in talks with So Def Records. That was Jermaine Dupri's label, from what I remember, and they were discussions going on with Bad Boy Entertainment. We just never got signed, but we had built a major following, especially in the city of Detroit and some other places. I was on a mixtape some years ago. They did with 106 in Park, connection I still have. By the way, that goes way back in the day. If some of you all remember Free, I believe from 106 in Park. I can't remember the other co-host, host of that show, but I was on a mixtape back then. I did an acapella track, by the way. So, but that's neither here nor there. Just giving you guys a background. I pay attention to a lot of stuff, what's going on out here. But I just wanted to come before you all, let you know it's been a minute since I've done a video. And I just wanted to give you all a heads up where I've been lately. I also, for those that have followed me that know that I have been on Telegram a lot, I had taken a break from Telegram for like the past couple weeks because of the way my work schedule had shifted drastically. And it seems like as of very, very recently, they seem to be so shorthanded that I had to put my foot down. I'm basically like the nights or afternoon person, the nights, because I had did a couple details where my supervisor above me had asked me to come in and work particular morning, but they will try to overwork you there. And I said, hey, I'm already on a night shift. So they devised a scheme to move my time up earlier in the afternoon, and just abruptly. So sometimes I'm going like week to week. My schedule comes out every Friday, so I don't even know sometimes. And then they like breaking my off days up. And then you all know I study redemption education, by the way, aka sovereignty. And it takes away my time from being able to study that information completely as I would like, because I would love, and I can't wait for the day to F and leave this job one day and get the heck out of here. Has been my ultimate goal. But I want to make sure I have a certain amount stacked, by the way. But when I feel comfortable, I want to be sitting on a bankroll to the point I have my finances in order to basically where I can leave this job altogether. I'm disciplined enough where I don't touch, the assets that I do have, by the way. And yeah, I'm planning. I got a plan for the future because I do things different. I don't move the same way that a lot of other people move in the public sector of the system, by the way. And I'll just kind of leave it at that. But my ultimate goal, and I was explaining to a friend of mine earlier yesterday, because we're now into Eastern time. We're now into early Sunday, just past midnight. I was telling a friend the benefits when you study and learn sovereignty. Said, I'm not trying to win you over. I said, I know he's still maybe on the fence about this type of information. And I mentioned something that piqued his curiosity. By the way, I won't go into details about what it was, but I was telling him that quietly there are a lot of people that are waking up to that information, and a particular group that I follow. In particular, I greatly admire this sister who started this particular group. I have mentioned the name before, but I vaguely have mentioned when I found out that a friend of mine knew her and put me up on who she was and what the group was. I was very excited because I love the way she breaks the information down in a very concise way. She's a lot more advanced than I am. Very phenomenal. I told my friend, I feel she's a godsend. I don't know if you all heard that quote before or familiar with that, but I truly feel from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate her. She is truly a godsend. She's amazing with the information that she breaks down to me. She is the GOAT in this that teaches redemption education, sovereignty. I don't call that umbrella word they use, sovereign citizen stuff. I speak about, you guys know I mentioned in the past, I speak about the real information, legitimate stuff, not that con artist, that fake stuff pimps, players, and hustlers mention. But this group that she heads up, they get results. And it appears as though I saw she had like her own, a separate private group with paid members. And I said, people wouldn't be paying this big top dollars, or her consultations wouldn't be booked up all the way into next year if her information was BS. So no, she's the real deal. She's phenomenal. And that's just my opinion. I've debated some people on Telegram that tried to poo-poo her and say this, that, and the other, and I defend her. And I won't say who, I won't say the name, but me personally, I greatly appreciate her and what she's done. I'm gonna continue to follow that group, continue to study, and it's really encouraged me, it's humbled me in my studies and my effort that I need to step my game up as well. But some people just have a phenomenal, unique skill set. And the guy that works with her, I don't want to forget about, by the way, because I think she mentioned she kicked some of the other people out that used to work with her, or some people in the past. So she works with another guy, I won't say his name, but a young guy, I guess she kind of recruited or trained up, and he's knowledgeable too. But her in particular, I listened to some of the lives she puts out. It's absolutely phenomenal. I think she's number one in the game. And I'm literally, my guys here that study with me privately, people that I know personally, that I've known for a very long time, have told me they're very appreciative of me putting them up on her, and they're having more success. They're already past me up, because of the kind of work schedule that I have. But they see my one friend that I know that she puts out, he said, results. So we see, despite what some of the haters out there have said, like I said, once again, it's absolutely phenomenal. I think she's number one in the game, and I'm going to continue to follow that group and learn the information, because I think they have the best stuff. And there's a lot of people I can see looking at the numbers that follow them on their Instagram, and the other the only TikTok page that they had I saw was growing exponentially. But she mentioned she had a lot of pages, I guess, that were taken down. But the other guy that she worked with, I was paying attention to the numbers on his page, and they were constantly growing and growing. And I don't think that means you're putting out facts, legitimate stuff, and people can see through that between all this propaganda out here and these flat earthers and people trying to put out disinfo and trying to hate on her. She's the GOAT right now. So that is for what it is. I'm not going to continue to harp on that, but I just wanted to do this video once again to give you all a heads up, let you all know where I've been lately, and kind of just, it's been a minute, like I said, to reiterate. If you have not done so yet, keep in mind I have a newer channel, a brand new channel, completely all together. It's at Dorsey's Resource 873. So if you haven't done so yet, be sure to, if you type that in the YouTube search engine, you might have to scroll down and look for it. It's a similar profile picture, but different profile picture I have. It's at Dorsey's Resource 873, the number 873 after Dorsey's Resource. When you put that in the YouTube description box, make sure you go over there and subscribe to the new channel. And over there, I can check my back office, where like over here, this channel, I can only do live videos. And that's only because I had StreamYard attached because of what happened in the past with all the censorship and stuff going on. And I'm gonna also tell you guys, I forgot to mention, I did mention this a while ago. I did do some things to boycott YouTube, to fight back, just to give you all a heads up. One of my feature videos, I told you guys to go over to Rumble. Rumble has grown exponentially. It's gotten even much larger, a lot bigger. Rumble is not as strict as YouTube with the censorship. They actually, I think, in my opinion, they follow the laws more. YouTube is a bully, because remember, hate speech is speech they don't agree with. It doesn't mean that you necessarily said something, because if they were going to be a very political platform, they should have said that up front. The fact that they registered as a public utility was deceptive and a fraud, and they should have been cracked down on a long time ago with and I know people did try to file lawsuits because YouTube is owned by Google, but they're a super conglomerate corporation, and it's hard when you're going up against a very powerful corporation that has a team of lawyers, by the way. And so if anybody out there knows how, if you study with that particular group and know how to take them to that special court in Delaware, take one for the team, but go after YouTube. Google and YouTube need to be punished. So what I did, to give you guys a heads up, what I did to boycott YouTube, since they practically demonetized this channel and were very biased towards me and numerous others prior to me. This isn't about me. But what I said, you guys join me in the fight, because if this can happen to me, this can happen to anybody. And trust me, it's not going to stop. In the future, people are even amazed. They can just create anything with cancel culture. Just say, hey, we don't want you to talk about this anymore. And they've done that. They started to create a list. They don't want you to talk about certain things like that pertain to the vaccine or false flag attacks or the presidential election, if you know from what, when, what, who, where, and why back in 2020. And when it's people, you have a right through freedom of speech is protected by the First Amendment. These platforms, I don't give a F what these fake gossip channels are telling you. And these gossip channels, by the way, they just put out, a lot of those channels are monetized, and those people are getting paid, so they're happy. But a lot of them are sellouts, by the way. They're not teaching you about the Illuminati. A lot of those channels are not teaching you finance. They're not warning you about what's coming down the pipeline with the New World Order. They just put out gossip, and there's nothing wrong. I do pay attention to that stuff, certain scandals and stuff, but they're not teaching people emergency preparedness or teaching people how to invest, the things that I've talked about that help empower people. So just keep in mind, those channels are trying to say, well, YouTube, Dorsey has, is their own independent platform. They can ban or censor who they want. No, they're still supposed to follow the law. All public corporations are supposed to be under public law. Let's understand that. Let's be clear. It was never meant for corporations to have or take over this much power over people, over individual, live, living, breathing people. It was never meant for corporations to bully people. That's why antitrust laws were created. Get this clear. It's a very reason. I took business in college. If you guys know, I studied antitrust laws. If you're not familiar, look up what antitrust laws are. So YouTube know, and Apple and others have been engaged in this. Amazon, Facebook, especially. That's why I have a personal Facebook page. I'm contemplating, I may be deactivating my personal Facebook page. Now, I'll still manage my other page. I mainly only just go on there just to post my videos. That's it. But I'm going to probably soon, I'm going to deactivate, because I did this like a year or two ago. I deactivated my personal page for like a year. I don't hardly post because they're very biased. And there's an agenda behind their bias. And we know in more recent times, there's been an attack on masculinity. There's been agendas with cancel culture. If you don't agree with certain things, when you have a right to your opinion, dealing with freedom of speech is supposed to be protected by the First Amendment, just like the Second Amendment of the Bill of Rights. By the way, you have the right to bear arms and it shall not be infringed. It's explicitly clear, laid out in the Constitution. Even though you had these idiots that went to school as constitutional lawyers, but try to bend and twist, these dumbass politicians who try to bend and twist, and when it's explicitly clear with the law of state, and the Constitution is the supreme law of the land, by the way. And it's just a lot of that mess going on, and YouTube, which is owned by Google, has been very biased. So make sure you guys go over to Rumble. Check out the independent media. Don't trust the mainstream media. I'm telling you, if it's anything, even if you don't agree with some of the stuff I say, it's one thing I'm going to warn you: don't ever, ever trust the official narrative. always do your research, do your independent due diligence, and check with the independent media. If it's uh, a story, I really don't want to say the term, but you know when those shootings happen, you always check with the independent to find out, because you're going to get more information than you're going to get from Lester Holt with NBC Nightly News or David Muir with ABC Nightly News. You're going to get more when you check the independent media. So go to madmaxworld.tv. Always refer to band.video. He's partnered with other independent media platforms, numerous others that do fair reporting. By the way, even Rumble, some of your favorite uh, bloggers, vloggers, or podcasters have shifted. So people want to find out what, they want to get opinions from actual live people. Because remember, even local news media people, they're reading from teleprompters. And if they go against the official narrative or the official story, they can get fired. They can lose their jobs. So understand, you're not going to get the quality information like you will from the independent media. That's why you had some of these politicians who work for the deep state. Some of y'all know, you can tell some of these, they will say, they will try to tell you that the independent media, alternative media, is fake news. They created that fake news narrative to steer people away from, researching the full facts. Now, I'm not saying sometimes, the independent media, you got to verify and look up the articles. What I like about band.video, so talk show host, when I watch his video platform, by the way, I don't have some cities, states, he's syndicated radio host. Some people can't see the video side, but I watch the videos and I see where he shows the articles. I can look up the documents. I can cross-reference. And if it's from the London Guardian, if it's from Zero Hedge, for example, even if it is from a mainstream outlet, if it's something they admitted, there's actually things the mainstream media admits. Now, remember when the FBI put out a report, was it a couple years ago, and they said, they admitted that in this report, they stated that there are certain actual conspiracy theories that are true. This is not my words. This is an actual report they put out. They actually admitted that. They said some. When you read you have to find out what article that was. But some of you all remember that report that was put out in the mainstream media, because I have a relative that studied communications. They got their degree at Cleveland State. I also have another relative that went to Cleveland State. I don't know if they finished. They went into communications as well. But one of my relatives told me that a lot of the news that you see that's going through Yahoo News or through the internet, that's running through the Associated Press, by the way. But I'm just to give you guys a heads up, is always independently do your due diligence. Once again, check with the independent media, I prefer to call them, and not the alternative media, but the independent media, and they will go more in depth. They also will give you a perspective on what's potentially coming down the pipeline. Like if the powers that be are planning another scandemic or something like that, keep that in mind. They will give you a heads up, by the way. If for things like that, when you cross-reference, check with the independent media. So before I shut this video down, I'm going to acknowledge some of you all who are in the chat. I see Jojo Wave says, peace, peace. Jerry G says, do your best. It's not easy at the moment. Appreciate that advice, encouragement. Jojo Wave says, Dorsey, do you invest in Bitcoin? I will say, to answer that question, it's altcoins I've invested in. Bitcoin, I had a very little bit, but I got in too late. And definitely, had I known, which I did know some years ago, I actually wanted to invest in Bitcoin. As a story, I was in touch with a former classmate that used to train at a martial arts school I used to attend independently many years ago when I was going to college. At the time, I used to pay for it out of my own pocket. By the way, when I was working at the school and going to college at the time, one of my former classmates, when he had gone into the Marines and he later came out, he was going to school at the time, and we were talking like way back around after 2013, maybe 2014. And I've been knowing about Bitcoin. I was hearing about it way back then, and I said I wanted to purchase some, but I didn't know how back then. This was back around 2013. So he said he was going to get back with me, and he never did, and it was my fault. I never followed up with him on that. And I think I do see his posts from time to time, but very rarely, because like I said earlier, I'm very hardly ever on Facebook. And I think he put out stuff. He is, I can tell indirectly, it sounds like he's still probably investing in it because he was encouraging people. And he said he was going to help me, because I told him, I said, how do you buy it? And he was telling me at the time, this was years ago, before I even knew about Coinbase, because Coinbase didn't come out till I think 2014, but I didn't find out about till years later when Bitcoin at first made a major leg up, when it went to like hit like 18, 19,000 around that time frame. That's when I got around to getting involved, and I still didn't know enough back then. I didn't understand it, and I'm self-taught. I had to learn a lot on my own, and I kind of wish back then I had a background in trading, because I've noticed that people that already knew how to trade stocks or had a background in knowing how to read the charts dealing with the stock market, because these things are related, that knows the Fibonacci chart, the Wyckoff, stuff like that, have done really well, or can, have a better chance of being really successful. Because there was a learning curve, by the way. So my friend, he never got back with me, but like I said, to reiterate, it was my fault. I never followed up with him, but he said he was going to help me out when I told him. We had a conversation some years ago, when I told him at the time I wanted to buy some, but I didn't get a chance to. And had I known, it definitely, hindsight is always 20/20, like they say. So no reason to cry over spilled milk, but definitely had I made the right moves, I wouldn't be punching this 9 to 5 anymore. I would have been free already. And it's real dirty trick, especially what I've had to go through, what I've had to endure through all these years, and some other things I can go into details, but it'll turn into a rant, and I don't want to put that negative energy upon you guys. Some of you guys may already know I was part of something some years ago, a private clandestine operation. I won't go into details about. That's neither here nor there, because if I talk about it, I would probably maybe start getting upset and go into a rant. So I've got to move forward. But yes, had I definitely known in advance some of the things that I know now, I can damn sure tell you for sure, I wouldn't be punching this clock. And I'm really close to just, needing a big break. My friend said I need to take a sabbatical and leave this job altogether. I'm at the point where I feel like, just for the time being, until things do happen for me, as we're waiting for this global currency reset, which is taking forever, which has been delayed time after time, was supposed to happen a long time ago, should have happened a long time ago, but it didn't. As we're waiting, I've already at the point where I'm looking at maybe taking a career change altogether, and getting out of this field of security and going into a whole different career path temporarily, until I can get to where I'm going. Because these when you know what these people have planned, oh, it's real devious, by the way. So yeah, definitely, to answer your question, I'm investing in altcoins. I'm gonna say I really don't like mention, just to give you all a heads up, personally, what coins I have. Maybe mention some in the past, but I don't like to mention my portfolio, because what I know about my opinion about these gatekeepers and minions, they have underlinks and minions and the ruling class elite. These people, there's really evil people out here. You guys got to understand this, and they have an agenda. They themselves watch these videos. I was even told some years ago, I had some people real high up watching my videos when that private clandestine operation I was part of, when they wanted me to stop doing YouTube videos altogether. It's funny, they didn't want, I was still waiting to get funded from them, which was separate from the dinars. And they didn't even want me to make no money off of YouTube. And I told them the little bit I was making, I was like my side hustle. This was before all the stuff went down. And I'm like, dang, they want me to be all private and stuff. And I do understand where they're coming from, because some of you guys may not understand that information, but it was very frustrating. And I was told by some sources that I have, they were monitoring, they monitor a lot of these platforms, best believe, because they control the deep state. They have minions and the alphabet agencies, and they look at these vlogs and stuff. And you have paid shields, government agents, uh, and they try to thwart things and sabotage stuff. And I was going to do probably a separate video, but I'll mention this. I believe the cryptocurrency Shiba Inu, which I did mention in the past, I was invested in. I believe that is compromised, by the way, that there's bankers that are manipulating Shiba Inu heavily, because they saw a lot of people got involved. And it seems like whenever a lot of people get involved in a particular crypto, they come in and they were doing something similar to what I mentioned when one of my private sources told me how they manipulate the commodities market. Like, I heard the little bit that I know with the futures market, there was somebody that bought up $1 billion worth of contracts with the futures market. And to make a long story short, what this would somehow do is it would cause the price of silver to get slammed down. Say if silver was at $30 or $33 an ounce, it would cause it to get slammed down to like below, let's say, $20 per ounce. So somebody would, a bank, through a bank, because you know these banks, corporations, they can't speak. There's actual live people behind them, behind the scenes. Not a lot, a handful, by the way, to kind of give you guys an idea. So somebody bought up $1 billion worth of contracts with the future. I said, who has the money to do that? So they're using their wealth to be evil. You guys understand that? So I said, who is doing it? What scumbag out there? I wish I knew who they were. I swear to God, man, I want to hurt. No, well, I bet not, go there. But I said, who's doing this? So they're doing this stuff to manipulate the market. What I was learning, one guy was breaking this down a little bit that I know, and said somehow this would cause the price to get manipulated down. So I said, something similar like this was happening with the cryptocurrency Shiba. Somebody was buying up a whole bunch of it, then they would dump it, they would sell it all of a sudden. And you think that that would cause less supply, which for supply and demand is supposed to cause the price to go up, but it would turn around and cause the price to go down. And so therefore investors were being manipulated. And then when you get into trading, I don't know trading and stuff that well, with people shorting and stuff like that. So in my opinion, that's why I don't like to mention my portfolio, what cryptos I hold, because I believe these minions, they got something planned. I got the word, by the way. And I had this idea a long time ago. I felt they were planning something like this. I kind of had an instinct, because I know how these people operate, how evil they are. I was telling a friend of mine personally that has studied the Illuminati. He kind of helps me out because he's more knowledgeable than I am. He's a very well studied historian, by the way. And we were discussing the Illuminati, the ruling class elite, and how these people operate, by the way. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons I don't like mentioning my portfolio, because I believe they have minions out here. They have underlings, they have gatekeepers, they have bad actors that will listen to the information and they will do things to try to sabotage it. And this will hurt not just me, but other people involved. And they have something planned down the road where they're going to try to sabotage the market, even exchanges, because regulations and stuff are coming out, which is a dirty trick, because they don't want people. My friend of mine said to become wealthy, for example. He said he noticed this when that short squeeze happened with that. Remember that Robinhood, when that GameStop stock I mentioned before was going up, and they stopped people. One guy, his stock with Robinhood was going up past $300. He bought the stock when it was like $20. Now, I've never held stocks before, but just sharing the story, and they made him sell it. And a lot of people were pissed at Robinhood, and they boycotted it. Some people left the platform altogether. They went to Webull or eToro or other platforms, and Robinhood felt real bad. Well, my friend said that told him that they didn't want people to become wealthy. That shows how evil these people are. So you guys see how I'm painting a picture for you. These are actual events, things that are actually happening. So hopefully the wealth transfer will take place as it should have taken place and it was not contingent a long time ago, as they're stalling this and they're suppressing certain cryptocurrencies, holding certain cryptos down. That's something else I also found out that could be a whole separate video that's being done intentionally, by the way. So I just hate all the manipulation. So you got to be careful not getting caught holding a hot potato, because it's like playing musical chairs with these evil fuckers. Excuse my French. I hate to get, see, I don't want to get really negative to describe, because it causes me to, and my friend said you have to be careful because that's what they want. They want to make people angry. That's what Klaus Schwab with the World Economic Forum, a member of the ruling class elite, very, very evil person, him and Yuval Noah Harari, who mentioned they want to depopulate the world's population. Yuval Noah Harari admits they said they no longer need humans, people. They want to replace us with artificial intelligence, push transhumanism. This is in their own words. Read Klaus Schwab's book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution, by the way. And Yuval Noah Harari, even though he went on Lex's podcast and lied, said he doesn't know who the ruling class elite or the Illuminati are, lying scumbag that he is. Went on Lex Mercar, got that guy's, that big podcaster has like over 1 million subscribers, whatever. Went on there, the brief part I saw was lying his ass off. But knowing good and well, he's an advisor to Klaus Schwab with the World Economic Forum. If you want to know their extension of the Bilderberg Group, and they summons every year, they have a meeting. They summons top CEOs of corporations, tech giants. They plan, devise schemes and strategies to create the one world government, to push climate change agenda, to get rid of currency altogether one day and move us to something called carbon credits to replace even charges for the air that we breathe, and integrate a system where the smart devices and things will tell how much carbon credits you're using. A very sick world, a social credit system where your credit score will be tied in with your how you act socially, and how YouTube is doing, punishing people. All that is not a coincidence. How Google is connected to these people, and Bill Gates, and I hear the former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, set up the computer system that's already in China now, that they were trying to bring over here, bring in the Dragonfly system. But thanks to Zach Voorhees and others at Google, big shout out to those engineers who spoke out, who were against it, by the way, because it was draconian and a very authoritarian, was spying on people, which they admitted was illegal according to the Constitution. Remember, Eric Snowden came out as a whistleblower and exposed how Obama was behind that and actually ordered that, even though they portray Obama to be this adorable guardian angel compared to Trump, this nice guy. No, he was a mastermind. Him and Biden, they weaponized the mainstream media. They created a newer version of the NDAA after Bush, the National Defense Authorization Act. They weaponized it. No, Obama's a major minion behind the scenes. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Literally mean that. And I would back that. As much as he seems a cool, likable person, don't let the smooth taste fool you. In case you don't know, I hate to bust your bubble. I got liberals who do watch my videos, liberal relatives. I will tell you, and I will hold that for sure. And there's backed by tons of evidence, not just myself personally and people that I know personally behind the scenes, but you do your research. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. He is definitely deeply, very, very deeply tied in with the deep state, as well as Hillary Clinton, Hillary Rodham Clinton, and Herbert Walker Bush, daddy, who died, who plotted work with the CIA to kill Kennedy, and then his son, George Bush. All them heavily tied in with the deep state. Understand that. No doubt about that. Okay? I'm just say that and just leave it at that. Okay. Blanco Lagardo says, "Hi, Dorsey. Favor upon you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. I need all the prayers and support. Keep me uplifted. I have to stay prayed up, protected, especially with these demonic minions are doing out here. Thank you for your prayers and support." Well, I said a mouthful, guys. I didn't mean to be before you. As long as I've been so far, I just wanted to give you all an update, let you all know where I've been lately. That's what's been going on with my job. My schedule is literally seems like every week And then, man, I said, gosh, when can I get a break? But yes, had I known, I am trying to make moves to get out of this job altogether. I'm considering going into a whole new career field entirely, by the way, because I'm a bit tired of doing security as I'm waiting for these investments that are being purposely held up by some scumbag, some idiot at the top. By the way, I hear the U.S. Treasury is behind holding the dinars up. By the way, that's what a banker I spoke with, she told me, and that was the same intel one of my other private sources told me separately. They hadn't even met each other. These are two different people, so somebody out there. So as I'm waiting in the meantime, I'm just getting tired of this. You get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Something's got to change. Sometimes you have to make moves yourself if you want to see things change. But that's what I've been battling with, and it's been rough. And these scumbags, these elite Illuminati scumbags, know what they're doing, and we just have to continue to stay strong, stay the course, continue to accumulate not only cryptos, but diversify your portfolio. You need hard assets, tangible assets, silver and gold if you can afford it. Uh, Certain cryptos, cold storage. By the way, it's important. I won't elaborate on. Of course, foreign currency. It's good to have. Don't have all your eggs in one basket. Maybe other streams of income. If you know about real estate, some of those things take a learning curve because I'm not involved in some of those things myself. But if you do have those means, just continue to stay the course, be frugal, be mindful, and be aware of what these people are planning. I hear a potential power outage, so you may want to look into portable power stations, get prepped up food, water, things of that sort. So until next time, guys, thank you for continue to rock with me, continue to support the channel, stay loyal. You all are appreciated. Until next time, legends never die. They live in our hearts. The marathon will continue. I'm out. Deuces. Peace.